Hi, I'm Ian Hutchinson from Life by Design, and welcome to the next lesson in this Kickstart program. So far in the program, we've gone through a whole series of quick start tools. We've looked at your vision diagnostic and checked in on how you're going and where your strengths and weaknesses are around your vision. We've looked at 10 quick strategy ideas that'll help you move forward and hopefully get more clarity of purpose. We've looked at one of those ideas so far around the gratitude principle and how important it is to be appreciative of the simple things, and that can improve your happiness by as much as 20 to 40%. In this particular lesson, we're going to be looking at your current week. How do you spend your 168-hour time budget? So I'm going to ask you, if you haven't already, download the template, the tool for this exercise, pause the video and do that now. So with this exercise, your current week, you're going to have a look at how do you spend your 168-hour time budget. Now again, let's just dive straight into this exercise. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to really try and flesh out in as much detail as possible, what does your average typical current week look like? For example, what time do you get up on Monday mornings? Is it 6:30? Then you take the dog for a walk, then you leave for work at 8 o'clock and you get into work at 9 o'clock, you work through till 5:30, you jump on the bus or the train and you get home around 6:30 or 7, you sit down, you have dinner, you get to bed and get to sleep about 10:30, and then it all starts again. And flesh out, what would a typical average Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look like? Typically, are there any things that you do on evenings? Do you have any further study to do? Do you do short courses? Have you got any commitments with kids or anything else? And then what do you do on the weekend? On average, what's a typical average weekend look like for you? So what you might like to do is pause the video, maybe put a self timer on for 4 or 5 minutes and then restart the video. But I really encourage you in this lesson to do the exercise. Don't jump ahead. Sit down for a couple of minutes, try and flesh it out in as much detail as possible. What does a typical average 168-hour time budget look to you? There's 168 hours in the week, so how do you spend that time budget currently? Okay, so welcome back. Hopefully you've actually done this exercise. You've fleshed it out in as much detail as possible over 3, 4, 5 minutes. What I'm now going to ask you, and by the way, sometimes I know that can be challenging because some people have different work commitments, or they travel half the month, or they're on, they do shift work, and therefore it can change. But the real goal here is just to ballpark it. What does it roughly look like? Do you have clarity about and awareness around how you spend your time at the moment? So once you've done that, flesh out in detail what your week looks like. What I'm now going to ask you to do is, in the top right hand corner of this exercise, give yourself a score out of 10. How happy are you with that week? Is it a great week? Is it a boring week? Is it pretty much monotonous? Typically it's not unusual for people to be scoring this week 4s, 5s or 6s. So just now give yourself a score out of 10. How happy are you? How fulfilled are you with that week? All right. So again, this Kickstart program is meant to be hopefully a bit inspiring. But some of you right now might be feeling a little bit depressed or a little bit down, because how you spend each week is typically how you spend each month. How you spend each month is how you spend each year. How you spend each year is how you spend your life. Unless you change something, something's not going to change. So if this is your starting point platform of how your life looks, ideally, wouldn't you want to be spiking in things here that would make your life more exciting, more fulfilling for yourself? And usually, as I've said before, the small things can make the biggest differences. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to try and bring in some of the things you've identified from the strategy tips that we've done in the earlier lessons. What are your top life priorities? Maybe what's your top 5 fun list? Maybe you've got a bucket list that you've started creating for yourself. But what's 1 or 2 small things that you could put into this current week that would improve your score closer to a 10 out of 10? Or what are the things that you did in your gratitude exercise that you really appreciate and are thankful for? maybe spiking some of those things in. And maybe just to start with, it's only 2 or 3 little things in your week that could make a big difference. Get those in as habits. It could be an example, leave work at 5 o'clock so you can have dinner with the kids once or twice a week. Start going back to the gym or doing some exercise, or just one morning a week you want to go for a walk before work. So again, the small things can make a big difference. But this exercise is really an awareness exercise. What does your life look like now? And from that, start to build things into it, small things that can make a big difference for you. If you'd like, another way of looking at this is to download this exercise again, call it not your current week, but call it your ideal week, and start to map out what a perfect week would look like for you. And by doing that, you can take a few ideas from that and start to put it into your current week. So next time we're going to have a look at what are the key, what I call the key 3 success foundations to life, and they're things like work, life, personal finances. We're going to have a look at those in a bit more detail, and I'm actually going to show you a demo video which will help you get much more clarity around how to get more control of the most important things in your life. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.